Forgot to set the recording on this. Okay, I just did. And now I'm going to go over just some, I want to check your skills with fractions and number properties and things like that. Can't really go forward until you are able to do this stuff here. Do you know how to factor a number? Did we go through that in our first session?
I don't think so.
Factor 80. They probably teach it in the following way. I usually teach it a little different. Well, I'll teach you my method. If I'm factoring 80, I know that 80 times 1, there's 2 factors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I cut this one in half and I double the other one. I can always do that. I can do it again. I can do it again. I can do it again. So that's how I get factors of the number 80. Okay? Now, it's not always halving and doubling. Sometimes if you start with a number like 75 and you say factor 75, well, that's 75 and 1 for sure. I can't halve 75. In other words, you only want to do what results in whole numbers. But so consider the next closest thing to halving would be thirding. I can take a third of that. It's 25. Well, if I take a third of that, I'm going to multiply this by 3. Now I know that 3 times 25 is the same as 1 times 75. And now I can't take a third of this. I can't take a half of it or a fourth of it, but I can take a fifth of it. It becomes 5, which means I have to multiply this by 5. And now I have all the factors of 75. Each one of these is a pair of factors. And factoring numbers is something that you need to be able to do for sure. So, factor 40 for me, starting with that.
2.
And what's half of 40?
20.
Okay, do it again.
10 and 4, right?
Uh-huh. That's all that has to happen is when we multiply these back together, they have to be 40. And we can do it again.
5 and 6.
What's double 4?
Oh, 8.
And we can't do it again. In other words, I can take half of 8 and double 5, but that gives us the row before. So we've got all of the factors of 40 there. All right, let's see. What else do we need to make sure you can do? Let's consider things like this. What's the answer to that?
Minus 2, 8.
Okay, first of all, let's take this part here. It's important to understand that 2, the exponent, does not operate on the negative sign. In other words, it only operates on what's in the parentheses. So the first step is to square 1/4. Well, 1/4 squared means 1/4 times 1/4. What's 1/4 times 1/4?
Oh man, I'm having a bad day.
That's all right. Remember that multiplication and division is easier than addition and subtraction. Because all you have to do is multiply numerators and multiply denominators. What's 1 times 1?
16.
Exactly. Okay. And then the minus sign still comes along because we weren't squaring minus 1/4. We were squaring 1/4. So the minus sign, nothing happened to it. It stays there. Now, if I do the following, it makes a big difference. What's that equal to?
Minus 1.
No, that's minus 1/4 times a minus 1/4. When you have a minus times a minus, it turns it into a plus. So that becomes plus 1/16. All right, let's talk about something else that's really worth knowing. Some of this is kind of number properties, but it's the stuff you're going to want to know going into pre-algebra for sure. What does it take for a number to be divisible by 3? In fact, I'm going to put a list of numbers up here and ask you to see, without doing the math, there's a little trick similar to my rule of 9s. There's a trick in answering the question. For a number to be divisible by 2, it has to be even, right?
Yeah.
For a number to be divisible by 3, the digits have to add up to a number that is divisible by 3. Well, this adds up to 7, right? So that can't be divisible by 3 because 7 is not. What's this add up to? The second number. Garrett, you still there?
Yeah, hold on.
It's okay. We'll end it with this question here. We're at the half-hour mark, but let's try to finish this. So what does 1662 add up to? Just the digits.
50.
Okay. Best way to do that is 1 by 1. Start with the 1, add 6, that becomes 7. Add 6 more, that becomes 13. Add 2 more, that becomes 15. Is 15 divisible by 3?
Yep.
There's our answer. Without having to do the math. And notice this one adds up to 19. That's not divisible by 3. This one adds up to 8. That's not divisible by 3. These little tricks are going to come in handy because a lot of times when you have to factor stuff, you need to know whether something's divisible by something. And this is a quick way to figure it out. All right. Let me make a mark in my book that we've gotten through that one, and we'll know where to pick up next time. Okay. Garrett, you still there?
Yeah.
The way to sign off is to open up the GoToMeeting panel and click on the X in the upper right-hand corner, and I will sign off on our phone call when we're done also. You and your dad, let's see. He scheduled this online, so he knows how to do that, doesn't he?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, I hope this was helpful to you, and it definitely helps me in figuring out where we need to focus to get you prepared for that pre-algebra class.
All right.
All right, sounds good, Garrett. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.